Hello there everyone and welcome back. I have to admit something to you there. I had plans on doing some 1v1 ladder on Wednesday and sadly I was probably not in the best mood. Or I was kind of off my game is what it ultimately felt like. Although in truth, doing like a 3-gate blink all-in against a Protoss mirror match and having to face off against my first real Cyclone aggressive play against Terran may not sound as bad as it was, but my headspace was not where it was and I wasn't really feeling good about those, so I decided to can the episode ultimately, which is kind of sad, for when I decided to do a match after deciding not to do recording, ended up getting like a 20-25 minute match against Zerg, which almost gone up to Broodlords and Carriers, almost. But sadly, let's try and put that behind us and hopefully I have a better mind about myself as we go into here. So, let's try and pick up where I left off because all those matches were ultimately losses, mainly due to miscontrol even though the build order and the strategy seemed pretty good on offset after the fact. Alright, Protoss versus Terran. I teased a little bit how the early Cyclone aggression did throw me off quite a bit in one of those matches, but I don't really have much experience with it. So a little bit I did looking into that matchup is that it requires like a fast robo maybe into an immortal to kind of defend that relatively well. Is all I really know, but actual experience trying to successfully defend against it, not so much so. So this will be a bit of trial and error if it goes that route. Otherwise I can sort of play against a late game Terran decently well, and at least we demonstrate that. It remains to be seen if that holds true as we continue onward. I'm just, for my own sanity, probably going to minimize the commentary, because who knows how much that throws me off. It is going to take a little bit of work, though, to figure that out. And I need to remember, you are going out to scout for said Cyclone play. Although, at the end of the day, this is all pretty straightforward. It's all going to be kind of carbon copy of itself, so... You think I'd be okay getting away with this, right? You would think. I just gotta remember my building placements to make it a little more convenient for me to build mass gateways for the mid and late game. That's kind of where I feel like I'm having a lot of issues when my economy starts to pool a bit. Now, what do we have here? Standard so far. Standard so far. How about gas? So double gas. This looks exactly what it may seem to be. I don't know what to make here. I'm gonna look at that in a moment because currently the barracks is not building anything. Okay, now it is. Actually, let me just go in here and see if there's actual... Yep, there's a factory. That's kind of what I sort of suspected, but there's gonna be a Reaper first. It's the one thing to keep in mind, and where can the Reaper come up? Here and the front is what it looks like. And it looks like my probe died, sadly. I could have phase shift through, or mineral walk through, but not looking like it's going to be this time. And I gotta keep my eye on my supply. And as soon as this SCV is gone, I think I need the robotics bay, just in case Cyclones follow up. It's possible, but it's really hard to say. It is double gas, so it's either like medevacs, drops, anything of the sort, and I need expansion rate too.
Glory to the Daylong. Let none deter us.
Oh, there you go. I see you. I see you. Let me find you.
Combat awaits.
The only problem is this may be a bit too greedy, but if it's a drop play, I can handle it relatively well.
Let your will be
I need that robotics facility though, to at least get that more out quickly enough. Because again, Reaper can come up here almost at any angle, and I'll need another adept over here, just in case. And for the sake of spending my gas, because it feels like I'm not spending it the best, we are going with the Sentry, because they're really cheap on minerals and spends a lot of my gas. Never mind the fact their utility is pretty important in the early game. I would argue, at least. Now, the only thing I don't know is shield battery. Again, we could be very well dealing with a drop play, which means I need, like, some... I am gonna need... Oh, that's not... Yeah, this warp gate's about to finish. Sentries help deal with medevacs, but... Need to watch for something else. Actually, I'm just gonna send this probe haphazardly, just in case. Since I figured there would have been a reactor and not a Reaper if this was a super aggressive type of Cyclone push. So I'm willing to suspect it's more the drop play. So that's what this scouting attempt's going to be for. The 2 Stalkers could do that well. Oh, they are coming. So 4 Cyclones. This is going to get a little bit brutal. If only that wasn't an Observer, I'd probably be okay with this. Now let me try and get some kind of cell to kind of soak damage. This is going to be tenuous, because that's going to take a lot of damage. Oh, it's a big push in general, so I'm going to have to let that go. It's a burnt 400 minerals, but with the SCVs and all that, there's not much I could do to kind of stop that. And since commit only 1 base, that's kind of fine to an extent. Can we at least get High Templar and start getting our main game going? So long? Yeah, they're committed to this. It's looking like so far. I just gotta be ready. Yeah, you're giving me vision, but
I return to serve.
Do we have to worry about a medevac? That's the only thing I'm concerned with right now.
The enemy closes.
Come on, kill this thing. I did lose the sentry, but we can at least do some damage to these things, right? Yeah, this is probably this. If I only had that like immortal out to begin with, because look at the damage on those things. Holy crap! Yeah, that was brutal. That extra immortal, maybe not having things delayed, and even Archon would have been amazing there. So that supply block really screwed me over, but despite how I was hinting at before with my last attempt at recording, that was not terrible. It just wasn't optimized. I tried maybe to do too many things. It just didn't seem like a super aggressive factory, since what I've seen before is they deliberately build a reactor before even getting a Marine, at least in the most extreme cases, so I felt like maybe I could get away with the Nexus, and it almost worked. Maybe a little bit of micromanagement for the Immortals would have been warranted, and of course, paying attention to that ramp because that force field to kind of bottle out the Marines and separate them piece by piece was really damn important. I would even argue if I had paid attention to that and force fields accordingly, I could have defended that even without the extra immortal or having to build the aggressive Nexus. So really, it's ultimately my own fault. Alright, we're faced off against another Terran. I never did pay attention to who the Terran name was. I seriously doubt we're fighting the same one, but that's always a possibility now. But nonetheless, if that continues to happen, it at least gives me experience to kind of get the timing down a little bit. Although, normally, what I've experienced, they go super aggressively with the first 2 Cyclones rather than wait for a big massive push, kind of like what we saw there. So it's a little bit different in that regard alone. So I don't know what point this will really take in comparison to even faster type of Cyclone play. But it wasn't ultimately too bad, it's just, again, lack of experience in that situation, I feel like. And even then, I feel like with the force field, hold them off, I could have still won that if I had just separated the 2 Cyclones that took point and sniped them before, well, without risk of losing my Immortals, really, is what ultimately comes down to. Now, let's see if our opponent's doing the same as before, or some variant of the Cyclone. Since the Adepts sadly are really bad against the Cyclones, they have kind of the durability to soak a lot of the damage, but arguably the Celts are even better in that regard. So I would be more inclined to have them as opposed to that. Everything's a tiny bit delayed. It makes me wonder if I want the second gas or not. Since I do need a pylon as well for powering and supply, since that's going to be important, since I did lose all that supply down below, which hurt me even more than I'm probably realizing. No. complete wall off. This sadly does not tell me anything. Aside for the fact that he burnt 100 mils early on. Now the question is, we're gonna have to watch for when a Marine comes out. Come on. Oh, you're not gonna let your friend out? There's nothing yet, so I'm inclined to believe that's a Adept, or a Reaper. That's what I think that means. So I gotta pay attention, because, yeah, there's a little jump point there, that's really important to note. Yep, there's the Reaper like I expected. So we're gonna need 2 Reapers to kind of push that back, hold it off. And we're left a little bit in the dark about what we're gonna be encountering, sadly. The only saving grace is that that Reaper does cost some gas, so it does slow down any tech. Never mind the fact the really early supply depot, which they probably didn't need if they want a super aggressive type of attack. And of course, let's see. I was hoping to kind of surround that, but it scares it off. You got info. That's fine by me. Let's just scare it off and get ready for the Robo Facility. I guess that's the smart thing to do. Did I hit it? Oh, I almost killed it. I think I would have need one more hit, mind you, but that would have felt good there. I had to phase shift to kind of chase after it. Let's just keep our supply going, that's really important. Hell, I might as well have another one down here for good measure. So I'm a bit in the dark. All I know is any push they have is delayed. Because of the Reaper itself. Building that does take up a little... It's...
Where shall we march? We are of one mind.
Can I kill it? Come on, kill it. If only I sought to use the drones and... I killed it. I don't know how useful that is, but... It did scout the robotics facility. Which may not be a huge deal, but it does affect their timing attack. Since again, I'm still in the dark. But I'd rather be in the dark and be prepared to deal with any attacks they might do. Now, let's get Twilight Council. Be ready for a possible drop, too. That's going to be a pain to deal with. Nope, that's not what I want. Nope, that's not what I want either. I'm hitting the wrong button. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. This is part of the reason why I got thrown off before. At least the forge isn't terrible here. I just don't know why it took so long to actually do that, mind you. Now, Observer, get moving. As my voice starts to clog up on me a bit. Probably just shows how little I've been talking today, I guess, so far. That's probably a sign there. But let's get the gas going. Nothing's really lost. It's just a drop I need to be prepared for. Get charged, get Templar going. We'll get our main game underway. I also want to try and get a Warp Prism, because that's really good to kind of put counter pressure on. But I need to know what I'm up against first, for that to truly matter. Warp Prism's underway. What kind of build? Going mechish. I don't know how practical it is, but I have played off against a few mech builds. I just don't know how to get aggressives, which probably involves a lot of Warp Prisms early on. But this basically gives me permission to make a third really fast. I'm hoping. So far it's Biomech. And I don't know, is there any sign of stim? Because I'm seeing lots of barracks with that said. That's all I really know. This is treading on new ground, especially for the YouTube series, since this would be my first time really facing off against mech. Oh, sees my observer. But we do see a starport. Can we get it out in time? Because as soon as they burn a scan, which is that little yellow circle icon you see on the map occasionally, that reveals any cloaked units. Now this is also going to be trained on new ground, but Let's try and get building going. These immortals are going to be important. And I do have means to get high Templars. I just gotta make sure I think hindering their tech is probably the most important thing I could do. Remains to be seen. And I don't know how useful Storm is either, but... Ooh, we got charged. I forgot about that, so... Kill this. Get ready, move on out. And try and kill... I was hoping to maybe kill that off. That would have been nice to kill a reactor, I'm assuming. And that's about to finish, so let's get transferring. Force some more building out of them. It's going to be tricky to do damage, but I don't know what my ultimate goal will be trying to... Should I be going for economy? This is a dumb idea, because I just forfeit my Warp Prism. Again, I was just trying to say I don't know what I should commit for. Tech or economy, or just harass with reckless abandon. Because destroying that reactor should be hard felt. I think. Again, uncertain, since I played really passively in my other games against Terran Mech. And it's probably not the right choice, since they want the passive play. But nonetheless, we have you set up. Let's try and do more of the same, shall we? Oops. This is awkward. Alright, we have Storm. Let's try and do some damage and ideally intercept them. Is that a possibility? This will really scare them off there. Because I got a lot of power here. And you just left your tanks to die, I'm afraid to say. Which should heavily blunt this attack. Especially now that you can't heal. I like to think that was a big success. The probes actually worked in my advantage. Well, actually no, it was the observer that conveniently caught it. Let's not kid ourselves. And I left the Warp Prism die, but I think it dropped at the same time as his attack, or at least he had to deal with me, so I want to believe that did good damage. I just can't bank on it, is the only thing. And this is where my building problems is becoming an issue, because I'm running out of room for my gateways. And I don't like it. And this is a bit of a mess, I won't lie either, but let's get building. And also, I need to get more another Warp Prism out, since I did sacrifice my 2 to have. Well, that is odd. You're going to continue to attack. Oh, he's switching to bio. Okay. Alright, I do have a Storm. I just got to build this. I just got to drop a Storm for it to matter.
I return to serve.
So with that said, we need more Warp Prisms. We're playing a traditional game now. More medevacs. Ooh, perfect. Can we kill these things? We only have Archons to really shoot at them. And killing those, they're each 100 gas, so they're pretty valuable. Never mind the fact they do heal infantry units. I just wish I could spend this economy. This is also another reason why I feel really bad. Ooh, convenient spotting. At least I'm looking at the minimap. That's the one thing I haven't been doing before the best. Oh, we could have liked to have done a surround there, but... Oh well. Let's try and get a 4th going. I think I'd rather build a 4th over here, away from where he's at. And I'm gonna try something a little bit gambly. Oh wait, it's probably not gonna work as well as I'm hoping, because those medevacs don't actually have fission or energy.
We shall stand against them. My charge.
Well, can I do the damage needed to? Almost got one of the medevacs. Thankfully, he commit more to sniping my High Templar than killing the economy, so that was one saving grace there for me in that situation. But just to make my life a lot more easier, let's just make cannons. It's kind of the lazy way to deal with drops, but it'll allow me to focus some. And also, I want to play with disruptors as well quite a bit. I've been having some fun with them. They're tricky, but they can be so satisfying too. Now, can we do damage to the third? Because where's my warp prism? Way off in our area, which honestly is not bad. I just can't I'm just not going to be able to reinforce this army. Now let's see if there's thirds here. If it's not, well, that means the thirds over on the other end, which is why this warp prism is useful. Hopefully. And then we find out they have a planetary fortress, which makes that really difficult to do. Oh, and a liberator. A liberator to boot. Bingo, jackpot. We basically killed everything there. As silly as this may be, walking into a liberator. Oh, you got ghost. You know what that means? Just ruin their day. Although now, this is gonna suck for me, but my immortals could do the damage. I just don't have any anti-air to deal with the liberators, so we gotta make this count. Oh boy, that was tense. I still hate my gas and supply count. Should I seriously be going air after that? Since, like I said before, when they have missile turrets everywhere, it's really hard to just burn my resources on trying to drop aggressively. As we see with that one missile turret suicide attempt we did, it's probably not worth it to lose Warp Prism, since it does take up time building up more immortals, let alone Colossus and Disruptors like I had hoped to. Maybe that's what I need to do, get faster Disruptors. Since I have been hinting that I would like to play with them more, I just haven't been doing it the best. But at least it's a win from my current losing streak, so I'll take it. Alright, Protoss mirror match. This will be fun, maybe? It remains to be seen, since I'm not exactly sure how to deal with all the openings variety. I think the main one to expect is like 3-gate into a robo expansion type of play. Either way, I'm starting to get accustomed with the early game. I just like to practice more with the adepts, which I may not do. We'll see this time around. As that pile's a little bit delayed already, but I don't think it's a big deal. I just gotta make sure I have the minerals for the gateway as soon as it builds. Since I'm gonna have to build a probe at the same time anyway, so it's not a huge deal just yet.
You must construct additional pylons.
And of course that stinks, but the placement's not terrible. So long as I can fit a pylon there's the big thing. I'd rather have the pylon on the opposite side, mind you. So that way it's a little bit harder to snipe down for a tenacious opponent. I think I'll go with the Devil Gas, honestly, to prepare for Devil Stalkers as opposed to Adepts. They're at least what I'm more used to in this game of this micro matchup early on. Since that's what's ultimately going to come down to a lot, isn't it? Going with a single gas, I'd probably be more inclined to go with Adepts. Huh. Interesting. So this means I should watch for company. And I also forgot my second gate, but this just like, demands almost a blink stalker with a warp prism. Basically, just jump up here, ignore the cans is what I think I'm gonna do. Since I have the gas for it now, at least. My second gate's delayed, but that's not... Oh, can rush, huh? I was hoping to kill that thing. Well... maybe I panicked too much, I didn't see any cans on the low ground. He is sending another one, though. It looks like it's not like a cheese, mind you, because the forge is on the low ground right now. Yeah, super greedy play, I know what I'm doing. You were gonna try a cannon, but... Let's just remember
Your probe
to deal with the scouts. You know what I'm doing here. I'm sure you know what I'm doing. I'm just blocking his attempt to warp it in. So don't worry, this is going to be tenuous, mind you, but it should be okay. He's just brute forcing cannons or pylons right now. This might be over before it begins with the amount of resources. Every time you cancel a pylon, they're losing 25 minerals, so this still pays off nicely for me. It's just the expansion we have to deal with, and I have an easy way to deal with that. I don't have to build anything more. I just gotta get my gateways going. And of course the robotics facility. That'll be useful here too. Since this will supply a block them, never mind the additional resources they lose. I just gotta keep in mind when the warp gate finishes. Since they're expecting a counterattack, and I'm gonna give them one. Actually, I shouldn't have Chrono Boost that, because I'm gonna get warp gates in a moment.
research complete. You have not enough minerals.
I don't need Warp Prism just yet, but I do need to get that Robo built so I can get it ready. So that may have not been the most optimal there, but that's a lot of free resources still. It's just a matter of can we capitalize on it. And I plan fully. I can even jump up, maybe jump up there. I could jump over there. I can use a Warp Prism for high ground vantage. I'm just not going to be able to do a lot right now, is the only catch. Especially got to make sure I have the supply to build it when it's ready. Because this is still 60 seconds away. And I have Chrono... No, I do not have a Chrono Boost for you. I just burnt my last one on the Blink. Like I said, a little tenuous. I got my money's worth there. Just needs to work. And also, let me get more Stalkers, because that's kind of required, isn't it? Just keep the pylons building. Ideally, look for a window to build an expansion, should I not win the game by doing this. Because what this expansion is just doing is recovering the deficit right now and not actually giving them our opponent an advantage. At least at the moment, so I gotta act fast, with that said.
I am here in the shadows. You require my skill.
I don't need any more workers. I'm kind of going to commit to this until I get the Nexus built. And nothing's shooting at me just yet, so we should be fine here. It's just a matter of this cannot get sniped. That's kind of the most important thing.
You must place that in a power field.
State that I am here in the shadows.
Just kill the Immortal. I tried this before on my Wednesday attempt, and it went horribly because of that. I failed to focus down the Immortal.
I am here in the shadows.
Now,
We are one with the shadows. Very well.
can I at least...
Skills. Cold is the
I'm not using Blink the best here, but they have no Immortals. Eh, not the most impressive damage it could have been, sadly. That's why things need to have been more on point, but I did do a lot of damage to kind of equal it out some. Somewhat, anyway. Now it's just a question of how did I get advantage out of that or not? It's the only thing I do not know. Now I want my forge there, so let's get that building. And we'll get ready for the next part, I guess. My fingers are on the wrong hotkey, no wonder I'm having issues.
I am the voice.
Now, well, not really much to say. I'm a little bit behind because I cut back on workers so far. Now, what I think I want... This... Yeah, I don't actually have the units for this now, do I? Yeah, I might actually lose here. Since it went pure... I was hoping it would have gone well. It might not. I just need some wall-off space. Can I get some High Templar to help in this regard? Since if the Warp Prism could do damage, that'd be good there. Probably could have used a second one. Shield battery. Yeah, this sinks. Even though I killed the Immortals, it didn't go very well. Probably need to be faster, ultimately, was what the should have been. That should have been going well for me, considering we denied the can rush so sorely. So I'm gonna have to look in the replay just to understand the economy situation here. Since Templar are not gonna do much, I was hoping for maybe some Archons. Maybe if I haven't lost as many Stalkers and just retreat out. That would probably been the smart thing. Since really I ultimately only had like 4 Stalkers all that time, sadly. And Stalkers are not very good against Zealots. It's kind of what the Archon's for. Not happy with that. The question is, what did I do wrong? I didn't use Blink to the best of its ability, simply put. It's going to be very micro-intensive to use Blink. But maybe I could have just brute forced the front? How many cans were there on the front? Was it just a single one? Since that is a weird match you don't normally see. I should have tried to force maybe multiple cans out front. That probably would have helped make a difference. I just panicked and just decided not to commit as soon as I saw the single cannon there shooting at me, when I probably could have gotten away with more, especially during that downtime while I was waiting for my Warp Prism and had Blink up too. Ah well.